In 1973, a man in Enfield, Illinois told reporters that he saw a weird little creature lurking in his yard. The resident Henry McDaniel stated, "It was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. It was little, small, like a dwarf, but it wasn't a dwarf. It had big ears that were pointed at the top, and it was covered with hair. It was about 3 feet tall and weighed maybe 60 pounds. It was standing on 2 legs and was lanky and skinny." What exactly was this strange creature doing in a suburban neighborhood? Well, that's what reporters and investigators from the UFO Bureau of Investigations set out to find when they arrived on the scene later that night. Unfortunately for them, all they found was a set of odd footprints. Henry described the being as having a large head and V-shaped notch at the top. He also said that the creature had shiny black eyes and was wearing a blue shirt, although it wasn't clear if the shirt was pulled over its head like a sweatshirt, or if it had arms and could actually put on a shirt. The being reportedly smelled like dirty socks, and Henry said that it reminded him of an ape. The initial report filed by the UFO Bureau of Investigations suggested that the monster may have been a Bigfoot, given that the alleged sighting occurred just a few days after Christmas. Perhaps some miscreants had dressed up a small person or even a mannequin in a Bigfoot costume, and then tried to scare Henry by briefly wandering into his yard. However, this theory was quickly ruled out because Henry was adamant that the being was only 3 feet tall. Furthermore, there were no reports of strange lights or sounds in the area that night, which would have been consistent with a hoax. Another explanation posited by the UFO busters is that Henry may have actually seen a real live Bigfoot, but that the creature was simply unusually small. Unfortunately, the available evidence does not allow for any definitive conclusions. Henry's story remained consistent throughout several interviews, and he passed a lie detector test administered by the UFOBI. Plus, the footprints in question did appear to be authentic, and were never able to be definitively linked to any known animal. That being said, the most plausible explanation for the Enfield monster may have been far more mundane. According to the director of the Center for Fortean Zoology in Salt Lake City, the description of the Enfield monster bears a striking resemblance to a rare species of primate known as a howler monkey. Howler monkeys are native to the forests of Central and South America. So how could one have possibly ended up in Illinois? Well, exotic animals occasionally escape from private collections or zoos. And if the howler monkey had been wearing a blue shirt, it's entirely possible that Henry may have gotten a glimpse of one before it escaped into the forest preserve. However, this explanation doesn't account for the footprints. While it's true that howler monkeys have relatively human-like hands and feet, their fingerprints and palm prints do not match those found in Henry's yard. Could this have been the print of some extremely rare hominid, which has yet to be classified? Maybe, but the vast majority of cryptozoologists disagree. In the end, the case of the Enfield monster remains unsolved. While many believe that Henry merely encountered an extremely unusual animal, others insist that he stumbled upon something truly bizarre, perhaps even an alien. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.